What is going on, everybody? Brick Builder here, and welcome to a brand new episode of the iCraft SMP. In today's episode, we're going to be working a bit on our beautiful and very underdeveloped port city on the iCraft server. So if you guys do enjoy, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. But this area, we haven't done too much. We built this thing here off camera, and we have some boats that we built with Glitch, and Glitch plans to add more for me at some point in the future. But today we're going to be working on another build that this place is going to be using. And first, what we need to do is tear up a tiny bit of this mountain and just kind of pull it back a little bit. So we are going to have to quickly do that. Thankfully, we have a really good shovel. What do we have on these? I'm breaking one. All right, cool. But that should work out okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to clear this mountain out just a tiny little bit. We don't need too much of it to be cleared, because the build we're building today isn't going to be huge. We're just going to be doing a residential style house, and we're going to be doing a lot of those. Now, the shulker box that I put down has all the materials that we're going to be using in it, or most of the materials. Of course, we can always come back and get more if we change our minds, or if we need something that we don't have access to. But we do need to quickly go ahead and extend this area here. The main reason I chose this area is because of how flat it is, but I want to make it even more flat. So we're going to quickly go ahead in here and just do a few little basic touch-up jobs here to make this area of land as flat as we want it. But there we go, that should work. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go for something similar to this, but not exactly this design here, because this one is not going to be 2 stories and such. This is just going to be a residential type property. Here we're going to put 2 residential properties, but one we're going to build today, and then others we'll build off camera and stuff like that, because we're not going to only build builds on camera for this place just because of how big it actually is going to be. I don't want this to be too big. So 1 2 3 4 5. I actually want that to be 4. And yes, I'm building an even house. I know it's weird. It's supposed to be small, but we're going to be making... Okay, this is actually too small. That was not what I was anticipating. This needs to be bigger. So I messed up. I done goofed. We're gonna go 2 bigger. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. That was the size that I wanted. Much better. That's something we can work with. So then the doorway is gonna be thrown on one of here. So it's not going to be a straight doorway. It's not gonna be in the center, which should work out pretty good. I don't want to have a centerized door just because it does sort of kill, you know, it kills a vibe almost in a sense if every house is symmetrical or perfect like that. And I don't want us to have that type of style here. So that's why I am not doing that. Also, this is working out pretty good so far. I mean, we're literally just started and we're already getting a basic framework done here. So it's going to look pretty good. Also, why am I building all of this with cobblestone? Oh my goodness. I just said we were doing good, and I built it all with the wrong material. It's supposed to be stone brick, like the other ones. Come on now. What am I doing? I am such a noob right now with this build that's supposed to be getting done. So, this is all meant to be this. Here, we're going with stone brick as the texture for this build. That is glass, not stone brick. Alright, stone brick, get you up in here, boom, and we're going to do the same type thing over here, and already looking fairly nice. We're going to throw a big window right over there, and then the other sides are only going to get small windows. I don't want to have too many big windows in this build just because this is supposed to be, I guess, the lower poverty section in a sense, because we're going to have, you know, the areas where you're going to have the wealthy, massive, huge buildings. Then you're going to have the areas where maybe the people there aren't as wealthy or aren't as fortunate to be able to have huge houses. But that'll be a place we work on much later in the building of the port city. Because for now, we're just going to start with these little, you know, other type builds, little detail builds, and smaller section type stuff. It's just going to be more obtainable for us to do early on. Because although we have a bit of materials, I don't really want to dive deep into a huge build just yet, because we don't even have all the foreground, like, basic, you know, stuff done yet on this house. So I don't really want to, you know, throw any big houses, so we have the port city overall a little bit more planned out, in my opinion. So we're gonna go not like that. That's wrong. All right, so get up here, and we're all gonna go like this. And this is gonna be an interesting roof because it's gonna be a pretty low roof. It's not gonna be a tall roof at all. It's gonna be very low, and that's why we're using slabs instead of stairs, because stairs would make this be very like high, and we don't want to have this have a very high roof, because high roofs in this building style we're gonna go for in medieval times, the people with the tall, big roofs were generally the wealthier citizens of the port city or of the kingdom, whatever you want to call it. So we're gonna stick with something a little bit more peasant leveled, I guess, in a sense. For now, I just want to do something along this, and then we're gonna go like a so, and of course I fall down. Are you kidding me? That was not what I wanted to do, FYI. I did not mean to fall, it just happens. But at least I fell with style, right? Come on, that was with style. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna quickly go ahead and throw like this. We're gonna do this weird kind of intersection thing. That's gonna look interesting, but it's gonna help us with actually making the roof have some depth and not just be a straight flat roof, because although I want this to be low hanging and not as tall, it doesn't necessarily mean that I want the thing to be like impossible. Like, I want you to still have some different height depths and variations like that. So we're gonna stick with something along these lines here, and I think that should look a pretty nice and dandy, if you ask me. Right, they're very basic, but the big thing with these houses here, these little lower level houses and the poverty type houses, we're gonna focus a lot on small details, and truthfully we don't have all the blocks that I actually want for the small details here. So I do have to quickly dip back over to my base at spawn to quickly go ahead and grab all the different stuff that I'm going to want to use for this, because the thing is, with these poverty level houses or these lower tier residential locations, we're going to try to, you know, incorporate a lot of small details that'll just, when all come together, will look really nice. Now, where are they? This is one of them that we're going to need, because we're going to need to make a bed, and making a bed out of blocks like this instead of a vibrant color will definitely pop in a sense, and will allow us to, you know, really, you know, make color pops be a thing that's really exclusive to higher class citizens in a sense. We're going to use some dark oak wood. We're not going to need too much, but I'm just going to take all of it. We need some trapdoors, which we can make when we get over there. But the big one that we're going to need would be, that we don't have right now, is we need some flowers, because this is how we're going to get those color pops of red and orange, which are two colors that I want to really pop out over in this area. The rest of the stuff we can make while we're there. So let's go ahead and get quickly, just, you know, pop over back to the area and throw this here, and it's already coming along pretty nice. And it does have a spruce roof instead of the roof coloring of oak. The oak one's going to be for other stuff, but the first thing, pretty simple but elegant, that, you know, a lot of builders use this technique just to add basic flowers everywhere. It's a pretty simplistic design, but it works very well when you throw the trapdoors around the, you know, throw trapdoors around this type thing. This works pretty nice. It's just a basic little way to add a little bit of color. Which, do I want red or do I want orange? I think I want red right there. And we can do the same thing around other areas as well if we wanted to. So that is another thing. We can quickly go ahead and pull some of this, and then boom, we have extra. And we can do the same thing over here, and that should work, just to have the more color, I think, and pops here. We want lots of color pops, but we don't want the color pops to be in large quantities. Having low total amounts of these pops will actually make the color come alive more, because the less is more in this case. Let's put it that way. The small details are everything in a build that's small, obviously. So we're gonna go ahead and go like that, and then we got a few more over here, and boom. Actually, this side we're not even gonna give one, because if we do that, then all the windows are gonna have. So we're just gonna give this one a single one, because we want, you know, some differentiation on different sides. So we're gonna go like that. Boom. Next, the interior. The interior is going to be very interesting, to say the least, because it's something I don't really know if it's going to work out. So we're going to give it a try and see if we like it or not. But the first thing is we're going to throw dark oak plankage in here. And kind of a mishmash, not everywhere type quality. Something along these lines, I think. And then what I want to try, we're going to try this and give it a go and see if we like it or not. But let's quickly sleep away the night, and then we're going to go ahead and make some coarse dirt, and we're going to try to use that and mix it in to the floor, as well as also with some logs, potentially. We might see how all that'll look. I don't know if it's going to look the way we want it to, so it might not end up being the finalized look, but we'll see what kind of design we can get out of this and whether or not we like it. So we throw coarse dirt in here like this. It definitely works. I'm not saying it's bad. And then we could even throw some of these. But the question is, do we want to use those or do we want to use the spruce? Okay, the spruce really pops a little bit too much. So I don't want to use the spruce. The spruce is overly poppy and we don't want that kind of look. So we can go like this and boom. It's just some very basic log thrown into the floor, which will look nice. And then we can throw the bed over in the corner, crafting table over here, and we can throw a chest. Once I craft the chest, right over there. Not right over there, that's not where I'm at. Right over here. And then we can throw the furnace right over there and go like a little basic countertop design sort of thing. Although maybe using cobblestone isn't the smartest because there's cobblestone there. But we'll try with stone brick and see if that looks any better. It might not, so we'll see. I think using the stone brick will work out pretty good if you ask me. And then let's get a slab and see, does the slab look good on top or no? Let me go with no, we don't want that. Also, the roof is so, like, low that I don't even really have to fill it in, which will definitely work. So I'm not really going to worry about that. And then we're going to make a little bit of these bad boys here. Dark oak fence. We're going to throw one over there and just throw a torch up on it. And that's our lighting situation in here. As you can tell, it's very basic and there's not really a lot of light in it, but it should be enough to get the job done. And honestly, it's not looking bad for a little residential property. So I like it. And I think that that's going to about do it for today's episode. We just built this little tiny residential property, learning a little bit about building with small details. So this is the first poverty level building in the town. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you in another episode of the iCraft SMP. Thank you so much for watching.